Wireless headsets offer an easy and elegant solution for gamers that want to quickly and easily play their favourite titles, listen to music, and of course talk to their friends over voice over IP. But not all of them are created equal, and some are definitely better than others. A couple of years ago, Corsair unveiled the Void RGB, which was definitely a very good headset and it offered great value for money, but there were a few things that I would prefer that they'd done differently. Fortunately though, they've been listening, as today they unveiled this, the Void Pro RGB. And this doesn't sit alongside the original, this is a straight replacement, and if you looked at it from a distance or even fairly up close, to be honest with you, I would definitely forgive you for not noticing that it's a different headset because the design is more or less identical. Looking at the top of the headset, the plastic finish is the same as it was before. It's very strong and it's lightweight, but it doesn't feel the nicest in the hand, and in fact the entire headset does make that sort of noise, which some people will be put off by and some people won't. The top of the headband expands fully to fit any sized head, and it does go very large if you have a very large head. And then as we sort of move down the headset on the sides, the Corsair logo is still illuminated with RGB. A few of the dotted lines that were on the original have now disappeared, and overall it still is quite a gamery looking thing, but personally I almost have a soft spot for it, and personally I do actually quite like it. It knows the audience it's going for, and it definitely looks the part. The buttons on the, left-hand side? The buttons on the left-hand side of the headset can be used, of course, to control whatever's going on, with a button for turning it on and off, muting the microphone, and then you've got a volume dial that adjusts the volume, but if you press it in, either with a short press or a long press, it can do different functions. So I think it's a short press for changing profile, and then a long press for enabling the Dolby headphone tech that turns the headset into one of those that has virtual surround sound. If you haven't already noticed, there isn't now a pop filter on the end of the microphone that should help to reduce the P sounds that will come through the microphone, but it doesn't always do an absolutely perfect job. So this is a microphone quality test with the new Corsair Void Pro. It's a lot better than the last one was. I mean, to be honest, the last one really was pretty much at the lower end of the scale when it comes to sort of microphone quality. This one, on the other hand, is right up there. It's very clear. It's not anywhere near as nasally as it was before, and for pretty much everything I would need to use it for, which is in-game chat or Skype calls or something like that, then it's going to be ideal. As far as comfort is concerned, this is definitely one of the most relaxing headsets to wear on your head, and because it uses memory foam and then a very soft cloth, it doesn't build up too much heat and it feels great against the side of your head. And when you look at other headsets, you've got people like Logitech that offer cloth as well, but it's a really sort of firm cloth that actually doesn't really feel that great against the side of your head until it's worn in, whereas this, straight out of the box, you're going to love how comfortable it is. The problem is though, and the main problem that I had with the old one, is that it's just way too loose on my head. And I wouldn't say I've got a particularly small head, but merely moving the headset from left to right, it does like to slip. And while this definitely isn't a deal breaker, it does mean that I'm always sort of subconsciously thinking about making sure the headset doesn't slide off. And if only it was a little bit tighter, this would be so much easier to recommend to everyone. But of course, that's not all we need to talk about, because this is a redesigned headset, so realistically, the audio quality should be vastly improved, right? Well, to be honest with you, again, it does sound pretty similar to the old one. That's not necessarily that much of a bad thing, because the old one did actually sound very good. And I'm talking in both music and games, the performance level is actually excellent. Playing games like Battlefield 1, gunshots come across very loudly and clearly. You can distinctly make out the voices as well of the other soldiers that are sort of getting very upset as you're sort of shooting them. And just generally, it does help the atmosphere when you're playing a game like this. But of course, it doesn't really matter what you're playing, the Void Pro does do a very good job of reproducing the sounds. If you do want to widen the soundstage as well, you can of course enable the Dolby headphone tech. And while this definitely won't sound like a home theatre, it can help in certain scenarios to sort of understand where the enemy is. But if you're thinking it's going to magically turn you into a much better player in games of Call of Duty Search and Destroy, I assure you it's not, but it is definitely worth playing about with. The last few things to mention are the fact that the battery life is rated for 16 hours, and in my experience it seems to last a very long time. The range is pretty extraordinary, and I can actually go to the other side of the house and still have it actually pick up a strong signal. And it's got RGB lights on it that can be synced up with other Corsair peripherals. This is all done with the Corsair Q software, which is very easy to use. I think it's the best software like this on the market. Still not perfect, but it's going to be very easy for you to tweak the EQ. And if you do want to do things like turn the bass up, which I would recommend doing, then it's all very simple to do and you'll find it all here. And so then, this is the Void Pro RGB. And it's a headset that is very similar to the old one. If you're taking notes, which of course you should be if you're watching a PC Centric video, is the fact that the microphone has been completely redesigned and is way better in every way than the last one, which is definitely the number one thing I would have wanted them to change. However, it's not still completely clear cut, because for me, the fit is a little bit too loose, and it is going to depend from person to person, and it's not just head size, it's more about what you prefer, because this is not very fatiguing at all to wear. You can wear it for a long time without it starting to irritate you. Whereas I'd still prefer something that is a little bit tighter. I know it is more expensive, but something like the Arctis 7 still feels quite comfortable, but it's just a little bit tighter against my head and doesn't really move about when I sort of sway from left to right. But it is going to be entirely up to you and the fit you prefer. Let me know what you do prefer down in the comments section below, but as far as this Void Pro is concerned, it wins the same as before, actually, the top purchase award. If you're after something that represents great value for money, has good sound quality, and is actually very comfortable, then it's definitely a headset that's strongly worth considering. A massive thank you to Corsair for actually getting this review sample out. Let me know what you thought of this video by giving it a like and leaving a comment. Subscribe for more videos just like this and for other headset reviews that are over there. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.